All right, I have another video for you today, and today we're going to be talking about this individual by the name of Wes Watson and how he engages with the individual named Andrew Wilson. Wes Watson is someone who prescribes to the red pill philosophy. The idea of a high-value man is utmost importance, and red pill is a philosophy that's sort of designed to deal with intersexual relationships. Also to combat this high level of feminism that we see in our country. Red pill has the right ideas fundamentally, but they swing really hard left with their ideas, so much so to where red pill is a perversion of what manhood should look like. And then you have an individual by the name of Andrew Wilson. As I said, Andrew Wilson, he is the host of the Crucible podcast. He proclaims it to be the highest growing or the fastest growing debate platform on YouTube. But Andrew Wilson, I watch Andrew Wilson. I think Andrew Wilson has a very strategic and a very interesting way of debating. He's very good at debating. I give him that. But obviously some of the mannerisms, the language, some of that is as I'm concerned, is not desirable. But nonetheless, they actually interact in this Fresh and Fit podcast conference, I guess you want to say. Fresh and Fit podcast, if you don't know them, those guys are extremely red pill as well. They're one of the more popular manosphere podcasts that are out there. And so they recently had a conference maybe several weeks ago, and Wes and Andrew got into it. And in this video, we'll see that Wes attempts to intimidate Andrew Wilson. Andrew Wilson, by also, should I mention, is also Eastern Orthodox. He's an EO, and so he holds very highly to the idea of family being the most important thing that indicates success. And so that is part of the conversation that's going to be taking place. But before I get into that, make sure you know to subscribe to The Gospel Truth and hit that notification bell so to miss out on any shows that are coming up here in the future, commentaries, interviews, or debates. Let's get into this video.
How do you define success? And we'll start with Biame Kevo.
How did I find success?
How do you define success? What does that mean for you?
Success is, being free, being able to do what I want to do every day when I wake up.
Mm-hmm. For you?
Yeah, same thing. Being able to do what you want, when you want, and with whom you want, whenever you want to do it. Because a lot of people don't have that level of freedom in the world, so I agree 100%.
Gatos?
To be honest, it's working in what you love, because you got to wake up and love your life. You just create that, that life you just want to live every day. You don't want to stop, Sometimes I don't want to sleep and I want to wake up earlier just because I live the life I want to live. I also, with my wife, I'm married but not trapped. It's not like I hide shit. It's everything is up front. I don't hide anything and I show everything. So,
blessed man.
All right, so as you can see, they're talking about what is the definition of success, and everybody on this panel is giving a definition of what they feel success is. And so thus far, you are hearing typical responses from those who observe the red pill ideology or the red pill philosophy, that success is being able to do what I want to do, having the freedom to do everything I want to do, yada, yada, yada. Even a man with that is married says, yeah, there's no secrets, being able to get up and live free, this idea of free. And then the guy who's about to speak now is Wes. Wes is the individual with all white on. He has the white pants, white shoes, white shirt. He's a bald head guy. He is about to speak, and you can see, I believe the individual that's holding the mic, his name is Fresh. I believe he is the one that's about to speak in loud, that's asking Wes what he thinks. And so you'll hear Wes's response, and then after Wes, you'll hear Andrew Wilson's response, who I pointed out is the more conservative Eastern Orthodox guy. So let's see what Wes has to say about what it means to be successful.
Okay. In my definition of success is across the board. If you're
all right, so you can see he's very loud, bombastic individual, and might I also warn my audience that there's a lot of cussing in this clip. I meant to warn you earlier, but a lot of cussing on behalf of Wes. Wes is the one that's going to use some pretty vulgar language. So warning. Make sure you observe the warning. If you don't want to listen to it, go to another video. But this is Wes.
If you're not ripped, if you're not rich, if you ain't rare, if you don't stand out, if you ain't across the board successful, it doesn't mean fucking shit to me. If you got straight tits and you're in your Rolls Royce, you look like a fucking clown to me. I'm just laughing at your dumb fucking ass. But this is the whole fucking point. You have a weakness. Change it, motherfucker. How the fuck are you going to lead people if you don't realize your weakness is their way out? They're not going to listen to you. You're sitting there possessing shit that they don't want to have. So, I mean, this is what people say. Oh, it's not about the money. It's about family, Wes. It's about this, about that. Motherfucker, when you're making money, it's about the money. When it's family, it's about family. When you're at the gym, it's about muscle. Whatever you're doing, it's about that. There's no black and white life. It's the gray area. You have to be good at everything. That's the goal, to really excel in every area. I roll in most rooms with successful entrepreneurs, and it's pathetic. They'll have like a before and after picture of their fitness shit, and their after picture looks like their before pic. And I'm like, motherfucker, you're not embarrassed of this shit? Like, you have enough money, and that's what you put out. You're that big of a pussy. Like, I just can't get behind anything that's not done at a high level. So knock the one thing off the board first, then the next thing, then the next thing. Jados is ripped, rich, and rare. I mean, the whole thing, what's rare mean to me? It means no vices. It means no drugs, no alcohol, no bullshit. You don't have to hide behind nothing. I mean, what's rich? I mean, you get to do what the fuck you want. I don't need you to be a billionaire to say you're rich, or other people, they'll see that even I rent my place. It's $95,000 a month. But they're like, you rent your place. It's like, you dumb motherfucker. You don't understand how to even operate at my level. People don't buy a $24 million house. They buy $24 million worth of properties that would bring them more money. You don't dump all that into that fucking liability and live in some $24 million pad you bought, stupid. You fucking make investments and you bring it back to this. But everybody thinks they know some shit. And if you don't have the results that I want in some area, I can't fucking listen to you. So most people, I won't listen to them. What are they going to tell me? Some motherfucker comes up to me at the gym and he's like, hey, you should do your push-ups like this. And I say, why? So I can look like you, motherfucker? And the guy's like, oh, no, but like, it looks like you're going to hurt your... Shut the fuck up, dude. I'm end up with your chest if I do that shit. Why would I want that? Or these motherfuckers go in my comments and I'll say some shit on purpose. I'm like, rent or buy. And if you ain't at the level to even do either of these, shut the fuck up and don't even participate. And they just get mad. It's like, you don't get to have an opinion if it's not an option for you. You don't get to say my chick's BBL and her fake tits aren't for you. You couldn't get her, you dumb motherfucker. You got a goddamn 3. And that's the worst thing about these motherfuckers. They try to give you relationship advice. Motherfucker, you got a borderline Miami 2. That's like a fucking Mississippi 6. Like, what the fuck you talking about? Don't give me relationship advice to my 10 when you got a 2, motherfucker. Shut up. But this whole thing. People don't think I'm going to put the measuring stick to their motherfucking face. They better just watch what they say around a motherfucker who's beating them in every area. And if someone is beating you, just ask them. Just be humble. Like, your bitch is better than mine. How'd you get her? That car's way more than mine. How'd you do it? You make more than me. What's up? Like, just fucking ask. And that's the thing. People aren't humble enough to ask. That's my shit. It's got to be across the board. You better have a bad bitch. You better be ripped. You better fucking be rolling some sick shit. That's what I like. I grew up hustling. There has to be rims on my goddamn Phantom. Go out front. That ain't normal Phantom. That's a Mansory Phantom. I don't have the normal shit. Fuck that. Chick's got upgrades. Done.
Well said.
So as you can see, Mr. West is a very loud, bombastic individual. He's a loudmouth individual. He likes to have the attention of the floor. So you can tell by his language and the way he speaks, he loves the attention, right? And unfortunately, all these individuals on the Fresh and Fit podcast, the guys who spoke before him, and as you can see, the facial expressions of Fresh and Fit, the two primary guys that are in the middle, they were actually encouraging his behavior by chuckling and laughing and thinking it's cool. And so the real actuality is, as Wes, he talks like a kid. He talks like an immature individual, and as you can see this interaction, you'll see his individual behavior is exemplified in how he responds to Andrew Wilson, and I think the individual also next to Andrew Wilson. You'll see how he responds to them when they give their understanding of what success is. So let's see what Andrew says.
Said Wes. God damn, with the fire. Shit.
I've been watching Goldie's content. That's the reason. I've been watching Goldie's content. He be getting me in trouble. My chick don't like his content. She's like, he's making too much sense.
Shout out to Goldie. All right, what about you?
Supposed to follow that up?
All right, so this is Andrew Wilson about to speak. He's the host of the Crucible podcast. What he proclaims once again as the fastest growing debate platform. I don't know about that, Andrew. I think the gospel truth is the best, bro. Sorry, buddy.
It's tough, right?
Get him. Well,
tough.
hey, what you guys were saying earlier, I need to know what the fuck you said in English.
Okay, so my definition of success will probably be far different than everybody else's on the panel. I'll probably maybe be the lone dissenter, but my definition of success is having a family, having children, and being part of the apparatus of the world. And true wealth is a rejection of materialism. As Christ said himself, what good does it benefit a man to gain the entire world at the cost of his soul? And essentially, when I think of wealth, I think of materialism. It's okay to have materialism. It's not against Christian ethics to become rich, become wealthy. But I just think it's all beside the point, ultimately. You're trying to go for a single thing, and it's to achieve something greater
You have
than
money.
the person.
Does he have money?
No.
And you see Wes jumps in, interrupts the guy. Nobody interrupted Wes in his speaking, but he has the audacity to interrupt Andrew in the middle of what he's saying. And he asks Andrew, do you have money? Right there is what the operating standard that Wes is operating off of. That's his standard, is if you're a high valued individual, your level of success is dictated how much money you make, right? Or how ripped you are, or how attractive your female is, or how nice your car is, how big your house is, right? These are all materialistic, hedonistic worldviews, points of reference to try to indicate how value you are as a man. And this is a perversion of the understanding of manhood, what manhood should look like, what levels of success should look like. What Andrew Wilson just laid out is a perfect example of what success should look like. You know, your family, right? And he quoted scripture as well to say, you know, what's the point? Why try to get all this material wealth, and you lose your soul in the process? Why do that? There's no point to it, right? You're going out your way to try to succeed in these materialistic, hedonistic, man-centered things. And Andrew quickly undercuts that by quoting biblical verse and saying, like, hey, it's all about Jesus Christ. It's all about family. We should focus on family. That is the true level of success. But you see Wes immediately jump in and say, hey, do you have money? You know, this is just a materialistic response. Let's listen to the interaction between Andrew and Wes.
Do you have money?
No, I don't have.
How much
I don't
money do you
have.
have?
I don't
Does he
have
have
money.
money?
But here's the thing. Why is money
much-
valuable?
Do you have money?
What is money valuable for?
I'm just asking. Do you have money?
I just said no. I'm broke. I'm a nobody.
No, but really, you are?
Yeah.
Is he really broke?
Yeah.
I just want to know. I have to know.
No, I'm not.
trolling.
I'm not one of these rich guys. I don't have a Bugatti. I don't have a Lambo. I don't have
I
a
just
Ferrari.
really have to know. Like, how much money you got?
Probably $5 in my pocket. Not much more.
See, can anyone answer for the guy?
Why do they think I'm kidding? I have a family. I take care of an entire family. That takes a lot
He's
of
doing
money.
all right. He's doing all right.
Okay,
It's okay.
This is the thing, you guys. If you ain't fit, you can't say it's not all about being in good shape.
Why not?
If you don't have money, you can't say it's not all about money.
Yeah, why
But
not?
if he does have money, he can say that.
Why not?
He
Why can't you say? Why must you have the thing
Because
before you?
hi-
Hang on. Let me ask the question.
Because hypothetical
Let
is
me ask the
hypocritical.
question. Let me ask the question.
Hypothetical is
How
hypocritical.
do you even know what I was going to say before I've even been allowed
I
to
know
ask
what
the
you're
question?
gonna say.
Then what was I going to say?
You're gonna say why can't you ask the question?
Okay, so that's not what I was going to say. What I was going to say is, how in the world can you create a standard that it's inappropriate to ask somebody, how come if I don't have X thing, because I don't value X thing, does that mean X thing is actually valuable?
You've never experienced it, so you can't speak about
You
it.
think that I haven't experienced wealth? Even
I
poor
was
people,
asking if you did.
Even poor people experience days of wealth.
I was
They
asking
can-
if you
even
did.
poor
I don't know
people-
who you are.
But even poor people experience days of wealth. And so the thing is
No,
it's
definitely not. Definitely not.
Definitely
No, definitely
so.
not.
Definitely so.
I've lived the lowest lows and the highest highs.
Well, what's the distinction? After you make X amount, hundreds of thousands of dollars, if you look at these studies done on this, it does not.
I don't fit
hugely-
no fucking studies,
It does not
bro.
hugely improve a person's life.
Are you proud of who the fuck
Bro,
you are?
why?
I mean, and then now you see, since Wes doesn't have an answer to Andrew's critique, and now Wes is about to go into an hominin attack on Andrew, talking about he's not fit, called him fat. He's about to call him all kind of obscene personal insults in order to compensate for his lack of response. And this is the thing. Wes is a very childish man. He's a red pill observer. He's a red pill adherent. And so this is the red pill in the grand scheme of things, right? You have individuals who may not approach it in the same fashion as Wes would. Wes is a very, he desires attention. He's a very bombastic individual, as I've already said. He desires attention. He's an attention hogger. He wants the stage. He likes the attention. And so he's going to say those things to get that attention. And so this is the red pill paradigm, right? This is what the red pill is all about in the grand scheme of things. A self-centered, man-centered, hedonistic worldview that only desires self-indulgences. Those things that of money, girls, cars. This is what the red pill is all about. And this is why I say that Christians, you should not even observe red pill. You should not be calling yourself a red pill Christian. In a real sense, it's an oxymoron to call yourself a red pill Christian because the two ideologies, the two worldviews just simply doesn't mix. It's almost like someone calling themselves a Christian homosexual. And no, there's no such thing because the Bible speaks against homosexuality. So there's no way you can call yourself a Christian homosexual. Those two ideologies don't mix. So in the same sense, red pill is also an oxymoron, and Christians should stay far, far away from red pill because all it is a hedonistic, self-centered, man-centered ideology that does nothing but undermine the true understanding of what success and manhood is all about.
Well, look, are you proud? If you look in the mirror, would you guys say this motherfucker's proud of who the fuck he is?
If you look in the mirror, would you say he's proud of who he is? Now, Andrew, he admits he's not the most in shape guy, but once again, that is not the standard upon which people should be judged upon. You can't look at someone and say, well, because he doesn't have a six-pack or because he doesn't have 30-inch guns, therefore he's a low-value individual or he's not a successful individual. A man cannot be judged on the basis of his success based on his body type. That is a ridiculous assertion by Wes. And you see, Wes stands up. He wants the attention. He's an attention. He's an attention hogger. He wants the attention, and he stands up to try to undercut Andrew's points and tries to steal this. And Wes attempts to try to steal the stage and draw the attention to himself, so he could continue to insult Andrew with much intensity.
That's a bag of trash, dude. Pull your fucking shirt
Because
off and tell me you're fucking proud of
Because
yourself.
I've been to fucking.
And you see him, he says, pull your shirt up and show how you're proud of yourself. Once again, body type doesn't dictate success. I'm sorry, Wes. I'm sorry if you think you're successful because you have a six-pack or a certain size inches of gun. What you're doing, you're making yourself look like a complete, utter fool. That's what you're doing. In a very real way, Wes is showing how unsuccessful he is and how he's behaving like a petulant child, a teenager who's going through hormonal growth. Grow up, Wes. You need to grow up. This is not an indication of how successful you are.
Prison?
Jesus Christ,
Because
look
I've been
at
to
you,
prison?
bro. You got 10-inch arms and tits. Men don't have tits.
No,
guys.
they go to prison where they get fucking.
Fuck yeah,
where
they
get
do.
raped up the ass.
You've never been to prison.
All right, so Andrew, like I pointed out earlier, Andrew has a way of communicating that I do not find favorable. I think Andrew's a very smart individual and he doesn't need to communicate in this fashion. But nonetheless, he gets a reaction out of Wes, and Wes is beginning to grow angry. And if you don't know about Wes, Wes has a history, or he was in jail. He's in federal prison, and he sort of reformed himself and got himself to the stature that he is today of what he may think is success. But nonetheless, I think Andrew is a little inappropriate about what he said. So like I said, audience, if you're watching this, I cautioned you before that there was some language in here that was quite suggestive, and you probably, if you didn't like it, you might have went to another video. But this is what we got here.
Listen, look,
That's
he's talking
what
about shit
happens.
you don't know.
They go to prison where they get raped.
Now you get your ass beat in front of
You think that
everybody.
that's better?
And you see, now Andrew probably could have minimized the altercation by not saying such things, but Andrew has a way of antagonizing. Andrew, if you ever watch this, yes, you know that you have a way of pushing the buttons that get people going. And so he definitely pushed the button on Wes. I guess the understanding is that if you ever been in prison and for some lengthy amount of time, if one is accused of interacting with another male in that type of fashion, it's a quick way to get beat up and get taken care of. So Andrew knows this, and Andrew pushes those buttons for sure. So so this is what's going on here.
Think that that's better?
Let's let him give his definition of success. And then
Having tits and 10-inch arms is what a man is.
let's
You
let him-
guys.
let's let him get
Please
his-
don't listen to that.
Wes, let's let him.
Wes is out of control. I think he actually ruined this platform, honestly.
Get his thing out, and then
Tits.
We can have different opinions.
Yeah.
Titties.
Anyway, back to where I was at.
Boobs.
Yeah. Okay. Prison. But anyway, if you want,
Fuck yeah.
if you want to follow the successful mantra of a man who tells you he's reformed from prison, understand why they might have gone there to begin with.
And that's a true fact, right? I understand why he might have gone there in the first place and how that could have dictated his behavior that he still holds today, right? Always take that into consideration. I think Andrew is telling the truth on this.
And
take
yes,
care of a
I do think that a rejection of materialism is something missing in society, and I do think that true wealth is the family, and I think that true wealth is having a wife, and true wealth, that is what I think it is, and that is what I think truly success is being able to go home and look your family in the face and know that you're doing everything you can to support them. That's
And then
what
when
I
you
think
go to the
success
beach
is.
with your family, they're like, "There's my stud dad right there, standing there.
Do you have-
that stud right there with his shirt off?
Do you have children?
Look at that stud.
Do you have children?
I do have children.
How many?
I have 2.
You have 2. So are you saying that your Bugatti and your money and everything
If
else
they
is
saw me
worth more
standing
than your
there, they'd be
children?
like, my dad's a superhero. Look what he brought to the table. Look how hard this guy works. He came from nothing to this.
Yeah.
He's, God damn it.
You're still whining. Stop whining
that
and
is
just
a
make an
product.
argument.
I'll smack your fat ass.
So you're gonna.
See, look, now he's attacking the person. He wants to fight him. He's going to smack him. He's mad because Andrew is making him look foolish. He's making him look like an idiot. Andrew pointed out, like, is it really your Bugatti or your Ferrari or whatever the things you have by your monetary gain? Is that really an indication of how good of a father you are? And I would say no. Some of the greatest fathers out there don't have anything, but they do have wisdom, and they have the love for their children to grow them in the way that they are supposed to be grown and nurtured and encouraged, right? And so once again, Wes is putting all his coins in one bucket, and that bucket has a hole at the bottom, right? He's putting all his interest and all his efforts in a something that's not going to suffice. It's not going to hold stat. It's not going to hold strong, right? Because he's putting this stuff into material things, and he's measuring his value as a father based on what he is able to offer to his kids in the realm of materialism. And that's just not the way you do things. That is not going to make your kids understand what it is to be a man. That's not going to make your kids understand what it is to be successful. And once again, this is the problem with the red pill philosophy, the red pill ideology, is that it doesn't correctly substantiate or correlate manhood, success with the proper, with how we live in reality. All right, so this is the problem, and this is why individuals like Wes Watson, should I say, fall flat on their face when they interact with the subject matter. And as you can see, he's very upset, very angry, so much so that he's willing to smack Andrew Wilson.
You're gonna attack me?
All right.
Nobody's
Do you usually attack armed men in Florida?
Dude,
All right.
look
Let's
at
just
your goddamn self.
Okay,
guys,
well,
guys.
And he keeps saying it, he keeps saying, this is how you know a person has lost their argument, is when they continue to give ad hominem attacks and personal attacks. They no longer have a substantive argument to make when they begin to attack you personally. So Andrew has clearly won this argument. Andrew has composed himself. One thing I could tell you is that Andrew is not intimidated by this individual. And I applaud Andrew in this, because there are many individuals who would be intimidated by an individual like Wes Watson, and they would shelter away, they would clam up and not really respond. But I got to give it to Andrew. Andrew, if you see this, I respect you, buddy, for not sheltering up and clamming up. The way you presented yourself outside of some of the language you use, obviously I disagree with that, but outside of some of the language you use, I think you held strong in your convictions, and I appreciate the fact that you did not clam up against an individual like Wes, who thinks that he can intimidate by standing up and pointing out your physical flaws, if you consider the physical flaws, by pointing out your physical flaws and saying that you're not a man and you're not successful because of those physical flaws, or what some may consider that. But nonetheless, I appreciate you, Andrew. Good job, buddy.
Never seen such a pathetic motherfucker.
Okay,
Let's
well,
chill out a little bit, man. A little bit.
This is not what men look like.
Let's let him
What do they?
finish.
this is not what men look like. What do men look like then? They have to have 6-inch guns? What if the body type is different? What if they have a disease? What if they have an issue with their a medical condition that doesn't allow them to lose weight like this, right? What if they have something wrong with them where they can't go to the gym? What if they're paralyzed, right? This idea of like, oh, this is what a man should look like is completely foreign to any real reality. It's not reality to say that all men should be in fit and complete shape. Once again, this is a red pill. This is a red pill ideology that doesn't stand on its own feet. Once it's dealt with, once it's critiqued, once it's argued against, you see that the feet, the foundation, the core aspects of the red pill collapses once it's dealt with properly and interacted with properly. It completely and utterly collapses. And this is why once again Christians should stay away from the red pill.
Look like
point.
Fucking shit.
What do they look like? Bald prisoners?
Yeah,
Is that what they look like?
This is the problem in society. Is people like this think they can talk to someone like me like that. They really think they can. He knows he wouldn't do shit about it, and that's the problem.
I mean, you're the one who got hostile for having a difference of opinion.
Dude, check it out.
And that just shows the childishness of Wes, though. The fact that you got to get hostile and threaten to beat somebody up because they disagree with you, that's just pure childishness, and that's not manhood. That's not being a man, Wes. That's actually being a petulant crybaby child.
Started coming at me about some other shit. This is what the show is supposed to be about. I like this shit. So personally,
So do I.
enjoy it.
Yeah, I enjoy blood sports.
We can agree to disagree.
We can have a.
Yeah, you enjoy so much that you're willing to physically assault an individual because they disagree with you. What such nonsense Wes is, right? He's a complete nonsense. But that is all I have for this video. I did want to interact with this video and sort of give my input on this video. And so hopefully this helps to give you some clarification of how crooked and nonsensical the red pill ideology is. Obviously, not all red pillars would approach the situation in the same way that Wes would. So I don't want to broad brush every particular individual that adheres to red pill ideology. But I would say this is that if we take a overarching view, a eagle eye view of what the red pill is all about, it's what Wes is, right? Man-centered, materialistic, hedonistic. The idea of value comes from what you look like, not necessarily what you do as far as your integrity and character. It comes by what you look like, right? It comes by what you have as far as materialism is concerned, right? And so that is a broad eagle eye view of what the red pill ideology is all about. So all that said, I do encourage all my Christian brothers to stay away from the red pill ideology. It's not a proper understanding of what manhood should look like. And I encourage everyone out there to make sure that they stay within the biblical context of manhood and stay far away from individuals like Wes and the red pill environment or phenomenon. All right, that's all I have for you today. I thank you for watching this video. And if you feel that this video was a blessing and you enjoy this content, make sure you subscribe to The Gospel Truth and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any shows that are coming up here in the future, any interviews, commentaries, or debates. Take care. God bless.